Hey everybody, today we're doing something a little bit different. We're out in the back pasture. We don't get back here very much. That's where I'm trying to turn this into a hayfield back here, and there's possibility we may be able to hay it this year. It is looking really good. I'm going to take you around and show you how well it looks. If you remember from 2 years ago when I was spraying Grazon, how I killed all the weeds and all that type of stuff, and it is just really taken over in grass. You can see it all behind me. It looks like this everywhere. I'll do a quick pan. But one of the things that I've never showed you is you see how my fence back here is completely solid and it acts as a natural screen. Well, there's two pockets that are not natural screen and they look onto the neighbor's property. Well, the neighbor's property just happens to be the elementary school. And I don't mind the elementary school being there at all. It doesn't bother me one single bit, but I don't want to look at it. So what I'm doing today is I'm planting some giant Miscanthus grass. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you a quick video of it in its maturity right here. But it is a non-invasive perennial grass. It grows from 12 to 15 feet tall. When you buy it in a rhizome. I'll show you the rhizomes here in just a second. And they're only available during the spring months. It is used for a screening. If you have a neighbor or a building or a train track or something you don't want to see, you can put this up as a screening instead of putting up hedges or trees or that type of stuff. You know, they take so long to mature. This stuff matures in 3 years and it grows, like I said, 12 to 15 feet tall. And it's 2,4-D tolerant. So if you're out here spraying herbicide, it isn't going to kill the grass. And when you plant it, they want you to plant it 3 to 5 rows deep. So they want you to plant each rhizome 18 inches apart and then the rows 18 inches apart. And they want you to checkerboard the rows, so stagger your rows. And they want you to plant them 3 to 5 rows deep. I'm planting 3. We'll see how many rhizomes I have. If I have more, I'll go back, and if I have enough rather, I'll go back and plant a 4th row. What I did is I used my handheld auger and I just augered holes, 3 to 5 inches deep. And I've got some really nice rich soil out here. It's nice and chocolate brown. It's really pretty soil. But I'm gonna drop the rhizome in each hole, and then I'm gonna dump some potting soil, some Miracle-Gro potting soil on top of it. And then I'm gonna water it in. We've got a good rain coming in 48 hours, so this is going to be just perfect. And what we'll do is we'll come back in 3 months and visit this, and I'll show you how it's looking up to 3 months. But let me show you how good this field looks from when I sprayed it with Grazon 2 years ago. Last year was COVID. I didn't spray anything, but I did bush hog. I didn't try to harvest anything. All I did was bush hog and just let it mulch right back into the earth and just let Mother Earth absorb it and just be, nature's fertilizer, the green fertilizer. And while I do have some weeds, I am going to spray Grazon again to kill what weeds I've got, but I think it's going to be able to pull a harvest of hay this year. Let me show you. That's beautiful. And if you just look as we're walking along, like there's some weeds right there. A little bit right there. But if you go back and look at that first video from 2 years ago, it'll blow your mind. I don't have any trees coming up. No sweet gums, no persimmons. But I do have those thistles coming up. Those things are such a nuisance. And they're starting to rear their ugly head, but we're gonna spray graze on, and then I'll wait a couple of weeks and I'll bush hog, and then I'll talk to the farmer about seeing if he wants to harvest this later in the summer, maybe on his second or third cutting of the year. Let me show you this hole in the fence where you can see the school. So right there where my truck is, there's a hole. And we don't want to see the school. Like I said, I don't mind the school. Once these leaves come out right here, which they're coming out right now, this is gonna be a solid screen. But right there in that hole, and there's another hole right in front of the truck that's not very big. It's only about 10 feet or so, but this is a 30-foot hole. And it shows the school pretty prominently. Now, here's where I'm putting the rhizomes. You can see all the holes there. 18 inches apart in every direction. And they're about 5 inches deep. So what I'm going to do is just drop a rhizome down in there, put some potting soil on top, water them in, and then I'm going to take a hard tooth rake and rake all this beautiful soil over the top of them. This is my Seymour hand auger that I was using. You just twist it and turn it. Pull the dirt out. It makes a beautiful hole. These are the rhizomes here. See, it's just a little root structure. Every one of them's got little roots coming off of it. You just drop one of these in each one of the holes and cover them up. This one right here is a big rhizome and it's already sprouting. So we got to get these in the ground. And then I'm going to put this Miracle Grow potting mix on it that's got some food in it. And then I'll take these water jugs right here and water them in. Before I drop these in the hole, I just want to show you, this is how tall the grass was before I started. And then what I did is I scalped this over here down to nothing. And I just used my little John Deere here and just scalped it down to nothing so that I wasn't contending with a bunch of tall grass in my way as I was trying to get these planted. So there we go. Everything's covered up with Miracle Grow, watered in, and then that nice rich brown topsoil just smoothed out over everything. So we're gonna do that side over there tomorrow. All right, so we got this second row in. It's probably, I don't know, half as long as what we did last night. It's probably close to 20 feet. This is what we did last night and over here today. Now, this grass is not only used as a buffer or a shield or a curtain or whatever you want to call it, to shield out whatever you don't want. A lot of people use it for wildlife cover for deer. A lot of deer hunters use it to create habitat and bedding areas and that type of stuff. I don't know if mine, that being 3 feet or 3 rows rather wide, is going to be thick enough for them to get in there and bed down. I do have enough rhizomes left to do a 4th row here. I don't have enough to do a 4th row on both, but I'm going to do a 4th row either on this one or the other big one. I'll count and see how many rhizomes I've got left, and then I'll so 1 row will have 4 and one will have 3. So that's fine. But anyway, I hope this gave you some ideas. We're going to come back and visit this in 3 months and see how it's doing. I'm going to keep this watered. We're going to get a good rain tomorrow, and that's going to water it in good. So you saw me water it in last night, but it's going to even get more watered in tomorrow. So I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.